Good day everyone! In this video presentation, I will be discussing our lesson for today. It is all about circles, circumference, and arc length. But before that, let me first introduce our objective for this lesson. Our objective for this lesson is, at the end of this lesson, the student will be able to define circle, circumference, and arc length. Second, the student will be able to know how to find the circumference and arc length of a circle. At this juncture, I am going to discuss circle, circumference, and arc length. When we see circle, it is all points in the same plane that lie at an equal distance from a center point. It consists of a closed curve line around a central point. In geometry, circle is a perfectly round shape, meaning that all point or any point around its curve is the same distance from a central point. So circle commonly refers to anything that's approximately shaped like this, even if it is not a perfect circle in geometric terms. Letter O is a kind or example of a circle. These are the parts of a circle. It has a center, diameter, radius, sector, arc, secant, chord, segment, and tangent. When we see radius, it is the distance, the midpoint, and the circle border. As you can see in the figure, the radius are line RX, line RM, and line RY. So these are the radius. Next is the diameter. It is a line segment that has an endpoint on the circle and passes through the midpoint or center. It is the longest chord, or it's twice the size of the radius. So in the figure below, or in the figure given, diameter is line XRY or YRX. Next is chord. It's also a line segment that has an endpoint on the circular border but does not pass on the midpoint. So in the figure given, the chord is line ON. Arc. Arc is a continuous piece of a circle. It has two kinds of arc, major arc and minor arc. When we see minor arc, it is a collection of the circle points that lie on and inside a central angle. When we say major arc, it is a collection of all points that lie on or outside a central angle. So as you can see in the figure, the example of an arc is arc XM or arc XZ. Next is a center. Center is the midpoint of a circle. So point R is the center from the given figure. Next is secant. Secant is an extension or is an extended chord of a circle. Next is tangent. It's a straight line that externally touches a circle, the circle's outer line. Next is the sector. It's a region by an arc and two radii. So inside the region or inside this XRM, the form of two radii is called the sector region. When we see central angle, it is a circle that formed by two radii. This angle let us define a portion of the circle circumference and arc, or a portion of the circle's area or a sector. We go through the circumference of a circle, which is our main topic in this lesson. the circumference and arc length. So we do not go deeper about circle because merely focus on the circumference and the arc length of a circle. Let's proceed on the basic properties of a circle. A circle has three main parts or basic properties. So these are the radius, diameter, and the circumference. So as I have said earlier, that radius is the distance from the center to the circumference of the circle. Next is if you draw a line which touches 2 points on the edge of the circle and goes through the center is called the diameter. Circumference is the distance around the circle. When we say circumference, it is the total distance all around the outer line of a circle, and it could be determined either by the using radius or the diameter. Circumference equals 2 pi r or circumference equals pi d. Circumference is also called a perimeter of the circle. As you can see here in the figure given, circumference is 2 pi r or 2 pi d. Here are the example of finding a circumference. Number 1, find the circumference of a circle whose diameter is 8.5 cm. So, given the formula, let's put the measurement or the diameter of a formula. So, the given here is diameter, so we use the C equals pi d. C equals pi d equals 3.14 times 8.5 cm. 3.14 is a constant for pi. Equals 3.14 times 8.5 equals 26.7 cm. So, in number 1, the circumference of a circle is 26.7 cm if the diameter is 8.5 cm. 2. If the circumference of a circle is 50.24 meter, what is the diameter? So, we need to find the diameter instead of the circumference because circumference is already given. So, we use the formula C equals pi d since we find the diameter. C equals pi d. The measurement of C is 50.24 equals pi d. So, in order to find the diameter, we need to divide both sides by pi so that the diameter will remain. So that ang diameter mo ay mahabilin. So, 50.24 divided by pi. So, the diameter equals 16 meters. So, if the circumference of a circle is 50.24, then its diameter is 16 meters. Next is arc length. Length is the distance along the circumference of any circle or any curve or arc. The length of an arc is longer than any line distance between its endpoints or a chord. Arc length can be determined through this formula. Length equals C times V over 360, or we can use arc length equals 2 pi r times theta over 360, where L equals length of an arc, R is the radius, theta is a central angle in region. These are divided into minor arcs. V is greater than 0 degree but less than 180 degree, while major arcs is V is greater than 180 degree but less than 360 degree. And semicircles is V equals 180 degree. Next, example. So as in the pizza, we divide our pizza into 8 pieces with the same angle. The circumference of the pizza is 20 length units. Determine the length of the arc of each piece. So, using the formula, length equals t times theta over 360. So, since the pizza or the circle has 360 degree, we need to divide by 8 since the pizza is divided into 8 pieces. So, 360 over 8 equals 45 degree. So, we put it or plug in into the formula. Length equals 20, which is the circumference, times 45 over 360. So, the length of an arc of a pizza is 2.5. Next example, calculate the length of an arc if the radius of an arc is 5 meter and the central angle is 50 degree. So, from this example, all the data are given, so we need to plug in to the formula. Length equals 2 pi r times theta over 360 equals 2, our pi is 3.14 times our radius is 5 times the central angle is 50 degree, so 50 over 360. Multiply 2 times 3.14 times 5 times 50 over 360. The result would be 4.4. So this is the length of an arc. So as all circles are basically the same, apart from the size, these three measurements are related in the same way in every circle. This is half the diameter, the circumference is pi times the diameter, the area is pi times the radius. The definition of terms. Radius is the distance between the midpoint and the circle border, as what I have mentioned earlier. Diameter is a line segment that has the endpoints on the circle and passes through the midpoint or center. The diameter is the longest chord, or it's twice the size of the radius. Chord is a line segment that has its endpoints on the circular border but does not pass through the midpoint. Arc is a continuous piece of a circle. Pi is a mathematical constant that relates the circle's circumference to its diameter. Next is major arc is the collection of circle points that lie on or outside a central angle. Minor arc is a collection of the circle points that lie on and inside the central angle. Central angle in a circle is formed by two radii. This angle let us define a portion of the circle's circumference, or an arc, or a portion of the circle's area, a sector.
For further knowledge of this topic, kindly watch the video link.